Hello, Master. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today, yet again, I'm really making an effort to answer one of your much asked questions about studying. If you haven't seen the last two videos that I uploaded about studying in Canada, I really kind of went in depth into understanding doing your undergraduate degree and also studying in college in Canada. And then, lo and behold, I was being asked about graduate studies. So here I am answering more questions about graduate studies in Canada. Before I say anything, I really want to make this really clear, and I want to emphasize that I cannot answer very personal questions about the sort of decisions you guys need to make, like what university you should go to, what city you should live in, what program you should study. I think that my point is to give you guys the guidance to be able to make better decisions for yourself. Ultimately, you know your life better than anyone else, and I think it's important that you choose what's best for you. Often I know that can be tough because you don't know the country or you don't know the university, but you have to take that risk very much like any of us and play the field and ultimately, just make the best of whatever it is that happens in your life or in your situation. When it comes to applying for a master's program in Canada, a question that I get asked about is whether or not you need to have an honors degree from your bachelor program. A lot of programs that I was looking into in a lot of universities, especially in the sciences, the law, and I think sciences and law was like the two sort of disciplines, as well as business. They do require you to have an honors degree in a lot of universities. If you don't know the difference between just having like a bachelor's degree and an honors, the main thing normally is that in an honors program, you have to write a thesis in your final year pertaining to your major. So whatever it is that you majored in, like let's say you do a bachelor's of business or a bachelor of commerce or a bachelor in aerospace engineering, then you would have to write a thesis pertaining to that subject on something like that you choose or your professor can choose. There are some honors programs where you don't have to write a thesis, but you have to write like a big paper on a subject of your choosing that applies to your major. If you haven't done a bachelor's, like an honors in your bachelor's degree, and you still want to apply for a master's program, I think the best thing that you can do is get in touch with the university that you are interested in. So like contact the registrar's office or contact the department. Let them know what your circumstance or situation is, and they can often better guide you even more than me, because these sort of rules and regulations are always changing and they're so independent and individual to every university, every professor, every department. The second thing that is very important in applying to a master's program in Canada is a high GPA or a grade point average. A lot of programs require you to have like an A average or like an 80 to 85% in your program to be applicable to study the master's program at their university. So they're very like tough competition. There's a lot of people who want to get into a lot of programs, and often some universities will only take up to 60 students for a specific program. Then we're looking at financial aid. Now, this I kind of found like a little bit disheartening that there isn't very much financial aid for a lot of countries. Like there isn't much financial aid for international students. But when I was doing my master's degree, like when I was going through that application process for UK, and I was like, hey, do you guys have any scholarships or funding for Canadian students? Something they said that you should do is actually get in touch with your own country. So see if like your country has some sort of funding or scholarship program for you to study overseas. The other option that will work is if you are in a university and like let's say in the first year you do really well academically, like you perform really well, you do a lot of volunteer work, your GPA is really high, then you can get onto the dean's list, you can get nominated for various financial aid and scholarships, and that can help you through your program. Other than that, there is English requirements. So some programs and some universities, especially if you are coming from a country where English is not the first language, if you didn't do your undergraduate study in English, please know that can create an added problem for you, because they will require you to potentially get your transcript translated. They need to see that you have done all the courses that match up with the Canadian requirements, and then they might even ask you to go and take the TOEFL or the IELTS exam. So check the independent universities, and again, check the older videos that I did where I'm kind of talking about the average score that most universities are looking for with the TOEFL and IELTS, and you'll notice that there is a lot of commonality between what most universities are looking for. Other than that, to be honest, you are better off doing your research, applying to as many universities as you can. I always say that don't be picky with where you apply, because the competition to study is so high that you might not even get accepted to the place you want to go. A lot of people want to go to BC because it's beautiful, but the competition is high. But then again, living in BC is also, fairly expensive compared to a lot of other cities in Canada. I'm just throwing BC out there as just a random hypothetical. So really apply to every single university that you can. The tuition also is about the same as the undergraduate tuition that I looked at. So again, please do check out that video, and I'm not trying to get you to jump all over the internet looking at videos, but it will help you understand what to expect in that case. And then once you've done your application process and you've been approved and you've done your English exam, you will be required to go and take a medical exam with a specific medical examiner or doctor. They will do a basic chest x-ray if needed, or a blood test or whatever. And then you have to apply for your student permit so you can actually come into Canada and study. You can work on a student permit, but unless you don't have a visa, if you come in without a visa, you can't do anything. If you come in on a visa, you can start with whatever the rules are of that visa as soon as the visa takes effect. So this way you are prepared with everything, and then you have to get medical insurance. So that's kind of all you really need to know when it comes to applying for grad school in Canada. If you have a more specific question or something that I didn't answer, leave your questions down below. Again, I do try and answer questions within about an hour after I post a video and it goes live. So make sure you click on the bell down below so you get notifications as soon as a video goes up and you're more keen to interact with me. Also, do check out my Instagram and Facebook page where I also answer more questions. I'm not as active on Facebook as I would like to be. I never have been a big Facebook person, but I do use Instagram pretty regularly. So, follow me there. Give this video a thumbs up if this maybe helps you out a little bit more, helped you answer, if not one or two more questions. If there's more, then obviously I will make another video answering yet again more questions that you guys asked me. I really do hope that I'm bringing you guys a little bit closer to living the life that you want to live in the place you want to be. Always remember there's enough room for all of us to succeed. Please think strong, support one another, and until next time, thank you so much for tuning in. Bye.